So last weekend, my younger brother Nick decided he wanted to give back to nature, which in our family usually means a trip to the recycling center or forgetting to mow the lawn. This time, though, he insisted on building a birdhouse. He even printed out some blueprints from the internet. The only problem was, the instructions were a cross between IKEA furniture assembly and hieroglyphics. At one point, I think there was a step that just said insert joy here. But hey, how hard could it be to nail a few boards together? Spoiler, very hard. We spent 3 hours in the garage arguing about whether the perch should go on the left or right, and whether gable was a real word or something Nick made up to sound smart. By the time we finished, the thing looked less like a birdhouse and more like a tiny condo, complete with 2 front doors, a dividing wall, and what I swear was a squirrel-sized fire escape on the back. My mom just stared at it for a full minute and finally asked if we'd taken up architecture, or if this was a statement piece. We laughed it off and set it up in the yard, hoping at least the robins would appreciate the effort. The next morning, we woke up to what can only be described as a squirrel block party. There were at least 8 of them running in and out, carrying what looked suspiciously like tiny throw pillows and a half-eaten Pop-Tart. One even had a clipboard, which is when I realized these squirrels were not just squatting, they were organizing. By noon, they'd formed what I can only assume was the first suburban rodent HOA, complete with bylaws written in acorn scraps and a very heated debate over nut storage in the communal areas. Now, every week, we find a passive-aggressive note in our mailbox made out of chewed-up leaves, demanding things like more birdseed in the lobby or please trim the hedges for better scurrying access. But the last straw was last night, when we got an invoice, monthly HOA dues, 100 acorns. Pay or face eviction, or worse, chewed-up garden hose. Honestly, I never thought I'd have to negotiate with squirrels, but at least now I know what it feels like to get shaken down by the nut mafia.